Stretch out the dreams from my mind. Granny's got the scoop, let's unwind. Birds are chirping, singing their tune. Mystery of the day coming.
Granny's on a mission, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters ride, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you're all doing well. Hello, Ginger Girl. Yeah, it's been a good day. Cooled off a little bit. It was really muggy overnight. But, yeah, so not doing a whole heck of a lot. Just sitting here. I was trying to cool off, and then it rained, and so cooled off a little bit. Hello, Factory Girl. Good to see you. Anyone else that's out there in the bushes, welcome in, welcome in. All right. So I wanted to start off with Spotlight on the Missing. Today we have Zamaya Rayshawn Burrell. She's been missing just a few days since May 30th, guys. Last seen in Newport News, Virginia, 16 years old. Zamaya was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt with the cartoon Stitch, white and black shoes, and army pants. She has 8 braids in her hair and 15 beaded bracelets on each arm. If anybody knows where Zamaya might be or anything about her disappearance, please call the Newport News, Virginia Police Department or 911. All right. Just finished cutting your grass. Ugh, hot and sweaty. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Fuck. I haven't done that for years now. All right. Well, today we are continuing our discussion on Jack and Lilly. As many of you know, there was a vigil. I did find an old YouTube channel that Malehya had. Kind of gives us a peek into maybe her character kind of thing, because we haven't seen much of Malehya, and it's hard to we've only got the one interview to go by with Malehya, right? So it's been hard to really make any kind of interpretation as to who she is, because she stayed silent. She wasn't at the vigil. And so I don't know, it's just kind of strange, isn't it? But let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. We will
paper lantern for 4-year-old Jack, another for 6-year-old Lilly, released into the twilight sky as a beacon of hope.
Illuminate the path For Lily and Jack, guide their footsteps home.
One by one, people placed candles, teddy bears, and angels outside the Stellarton RCMP detachment, a growing memorial as many questions are still unanswered.
Investigators remain committed to exploring all possibilities surrounding the children's disappearance. We want to thank all those who provided tips and information. Please know that we're fully engaged in finding out what happened to Lily and Jack.
Some family members of the two children looked on as dozens of community members showed they care.
It's like every parent's worst nightmare. You don't ever want to have to ever go through something like this. And I think it's good to show them that their community is here for support if they need it.
Search and rescue volunteers have scoured a total of 8.5 square kilometers surrounding the children's home. The latest search happened this past weekend when crews focused on a pipeline trail where a boot print was previously found.
Tell me what that's been like living here in this community and having to watch this unfold day after day.
It's hard because with Facebook, you're on Facebook every morning, check and see if there's an update. You go to the RCMP site to see if there's an update, and then you hear about searches, and your heart just breaks every time because you pray that today will be the day that they bring them home.
Angela McIver, CBC News, Stellarton.
Well, we know what that's like, don't we, guys? Getting up every morning and checking. We've been doing that for a while now, haven't we? Not just with Jack and Lily, but Sebastian for a year now, right? Summer Wells, many of you followed that case for a long time. And yeah, that was a really great thing. The RCMP were there. They spoke. Do you hear that, Sumner County? RCMP were out for Jack and Lily, and they spoke at the Vigil. Sumner County, do you hear that? You hear that? I'm sorry, I just had to put that in there. Can you tell I'm frustrated with Sumner County right now? Oh, goodness. I did want to show, let me look it up here. There were some really great pictures that were taken at the Vigil that I wanted to share. Okay, so I'll change over to this tab. And of course, that was on my thumbnail. And this is outside. The Vigil was held outside the RCMP office building. Just some very nice pictures. Look at all those. Wow. Big unicorn there. Kind of telling, the officer standing in the background watching the vigil go on, right? Some more of the same. There's Daniel. These are very difficult to let go, guys. They tend to catch fire and cause all kinds of issues. They had a pink one for Lily that caught on fire that they couldn't use, so that's why they did the white one. The orange one was for Jack. This is Belinda Gray. She is, for those of you who do not know, she is the bio grandma, the bio dad's mother. She's the one that has been speaking with Daniel. Look at their faces, guys. That speaks volumes to me. That speaks volumes to me. these are 2 officers who care about those kids' whereabouts. All right. Hello, K9. Good to see you. Yeah, Belinda really looked sad, didn't she? The other thing that I kind of noticed in how they were talking in the vigil, as though the children were still alive, and that kind of surprised me because RCMP has stated almost from the very beginning that they didn't feel the children were alive anymore. So, I don't know. The community is hoping they're alive. I don't know. You know, yeah, good for the RCMP for showing support. I'm sure that not only were they there to show support, it was right in front of their office. I think it would have looked funny if they hadn't been there, but they're also paying attention, right, to what's going on. Yeah, they're being respectful, but they're watching, guys. You know, many times, and I just want to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not accusing anybody. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm not accusing anyone here. And my opinions are my own opinions, are not the opinions of anyone else. Okay. So, I just really feel as though, yeah, mom's absence, very sad. I honestly did not expect her to be there. Guys, keep in mind, we do not know why she's not there. Okay. There may be other reasons that we don't know about. If it comes out later that she wasn't there just because she didn't want to be there, well, that's when we can judge her. But right now, we don't know what's going on. Right? She could have been told to stay away. We don't know. Right? So I'm not going to judge her for that until we know something in regards to that. I commend Daniel. He's there. He's been there for the kids every step of the way, right? He has been. Is there a reason behind that? I don't know, guys. I don't know. There are red flags, I think, on both parents' parts, but we just don't know, right? We just don't know. And speaking of mom, I did find an old channel that she had, and it was like, guys, it's like 10 years ago. This is the channel, and she basically looks the same. She kind of talks the same, but she's very young here. So I think they said she's 27 now. So this.
Hi guys, it's Malehya. It's more of like an about me video. So that, I don't know, because since I'm getting into this YouTube thing, I just thought it'd be more appropriate to know about me. So yeah, so things that you should know about me is that
Ginger brings up a very good point, and I meant to bring this up. She was recently threatened. We do not know what kind of threat it was. That could be a very good reason why she is not there. She's just a single woman, not able to protect herself. She could have been watching it, right? And I just want to say that no matter how you may feel about Malehya or Daniel, it is never, never okay to threaten someone or to go real life on them. I don't believe in that. And I just have a really hard time when people do that. It's wrong on so many levels. We see it happening across our YouTube streets, creators doing it to each other, guys. It's, we just need to stop, right? Yeah, she would be about 17 in these videos. Hello, Katie. Or Kate. Good to see you. So play this real quick. I'm not going to play all of them. You guys can go there if you want to. The link for this channel is in my description for my video.
Tattoo addicted. I love tattoos, and well, I don't plan on having too many tattoos, but I just want quite a few. I have quite a few animals. I don't know the number at the moment, but I will tell you their names and what kind of animal they are. A horse. It's a Percheron horse, and her name is Raven. I used to have another horse, and he was an Appaloosa, but he had to get put down. His name was Dandy.
So, nothing. Just she looks a little bit younger. That's about it. Nothing really to see as far as that goes. I agree with you, Canine. This case is one where it's hard to figure out what happened, isn't it? Other cases we can get a good feel for. This one is not easy. Basically, part of it, I think, is because Malehya has gone silent. I mean, she's off the grid. She's, ever since that first video, we don't hear any more from her at all. The only one we're hearing from is the stepdad. I am going to go ahead and play a short clip, something that was played last night. And I'll give the kudos for that in a second here, but of Daniel's cousin speaking about what happened that day. But I want to caution you when we do listen to that, guys. Here's the thing. There's still so much that we don't know, right? And I like the fact that we're hearing from his cousin. Although I will go on the record and say this as well, it wasn't completely, I don't think, verified that that's who was speaking. So take that with a grain of salt as well. Yeah, she has a fondness for animals, which is a good thing, right? It's a really good thing. And I think that's awesome. I wish I knew. Canine says it perfectly. Every time I start to form an opinion, something always changes my feelings. It's very hard to figure out. And I think, and somebody else said to me the other day that I'm just going to stay on the fence for now with this case because it's very difficult, right? And that's the way I feel as well. I'm not going to point fingers at either one. There are red flags in both. We've seen Mr. Yummy's thoughts and things on both. If any of you have watched Mike Demands, they do give us some statement analysis of Daniel. And and I agree with that. There have been the matter of the texts and whether they're real or not. I am not going to go there. I'm not going to get caught up. That's drama as far as I'm concerned, trying to rear its ugly head in this case, and I'm just not going to go there, guys. So if you want to know anything about those texts and anything else, you're going to have to go elsewhere for that, because that is drama that what's trying to happen is it's rearing its ugly head just like it did in Sebastian's case, and I'm just not going to go there. I hope you guys understand why. And you questioned some things the cousin said, yeah. And that's the thing. We're going to listen with open minds and being objective, right? And of course, there may be things that we're like, really? And I'll point out a couple of things as well. So we'll go ahead and get right into that. I'm going to play from Clutch Some Pearls. That's basically, I don't do TikTok, so I don't know if it's still on there or not, but all credit to Justin. And the link for that is also in my description for the video as well.
Mother. One or the other. Okay. So this is it from the
this person right here is allegedly Logan, who is Daniel's cousin. Again, all alleged. I'm just listening, kind of like Justin's listening. He even said he couldn't verify anything. So disclaimer here, guys, I don't know for sure.
The live the other day on TikTok. The lives don't save.
I forgot he had some problems with it at the beginning.
Perhaps, maybe. Let me see here. Let me refresh it real quick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I think it just timed out on that one. Let me refresh it.
I
Guys,
agree.
do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Probably merge. Probably wouldn't surprise me. Hit that thumbs up button.
Did mom ever hey, I just find it so odd. You would think, did any of them ever make the statement that they wanted to look for the children, or did she make a fuss saying I don't want to leave until I find my kids?
No.
Or...
This is supposedly the cousin of Daniel, from what
Really?
No. So that's what I stated as well. Because when I got there, I said, do you want me to stay with the baby? You can go look. She goes, I'm going to stay with the baby. Okay, said whatever. So I went looking.
Okay, that's really interesting if that is true. Again, thank you, Alternative. Welcome. That's very interesting. Again, I cannot verify this, but this girl said, do you want to go look for the kids? I'll hold the baby. And she allegedly said no.
So that was the next thing, was when when she was told that the baby had to leave the residence. She's exactly told she did not have to leave the residence. They just
No.
wanted the baby off the resident.
we go.
Do you
I found that interesting. She did not have to leave the residence, but the baby had to leave. Okay. So she wasn't willing to leave her baby with his cousin to go look for the kids. She didn't want to do that. And she didn't have to leave the residence, but the baby did. We don't know why, guys. So we could spin yarns all day, right? But we don't know why. You know, they're not going to tell us why. So, but I did find that very interesting, in my opinion.
Make the statement that they wanted to look for the children, or did she make a fuss saying, like, I don't want to leave until I find my kids?
No.
Or... Really?
No. So that's what I stated as well. Because when I got there, I said, do you want me to stay with the baby? You can go look. She goes,
Okay, hold on. It's Logan, his first cousin. Is Logan a female, I guess?
I'm going to stay with the baby. Okay, so whatever. So I went looking. So that was the next thing, was when she was told that the baby had to leave the residence. She's exactly told she did not have to leave the residence. They just wanted the baby off the resident, from away from the residence. That's like, this whole scenario isn't something a kid should be a part of. So the baby was going to come to my house. So she's never been apart from the baby. Never. Like, she's meadow. So I said, you're more than welcome to come too. If not, I am comfortable. I have 3 kids of my own. Like Malehya, I can take care of this kid. Like, I can take care of the baby, no problem. So first the baby, it was just going to be the baby. And then she decided she was going to come with me. So, but then something changed and we were at the briefing. Her mother said something to her. And then I had to take everything out of my car and put it in her mother's car. And like I said, she had this whole plan, like she was going to drive her car into my house.
Mm-hmm.
I do tend to believe this girl personally. I know there's a lot.
Okay, so our buddy Mike will be doing analysis on the statements from the cousin following my live. I saw that. I agree with you, K9. I tend to start to tune him out after he's just on and on, drones on and on. That's why I haven't shown him too much, because yeah, I start to just tune him out after a while. I don't know, something, he doesn't keep my interest or something. So I know that, Justin said he tends to believe her. The only thing that I think is missing here is that it's a known fact during the briefing, she went and got in an ambulance and then left. And that nothing is said about that at all. So what's going on there? Right? It's like, I want to say conveniently some things are left out, but, and there'll be more. I'll point out to you that I'm thinking is left out, and I don't understand why. But I don't know if conveniently is the right word. It's could be a little bit judgmental, maybe. I don't mean it to be, but I'm just saying that some things are left out, and I don't understand why they're being left out. So some things to just keep in mind here, right?
A lot of crazies on TikToks, but the way she's speaking, she is not pausing. She's not doing anything like that. She's just going one thing after another. Like she remembers it. So.
And she
So maybe having said that and listening to what Justin just said, maybe a statement analysis on the cousin would be a good thing. Mr. Yummy, are you listening? I can listen to him all day long. I don't know why, but I have a hard time listening to Mike. Sorry, Mike, if you're listening. I don't mean it to be bad. It just, I don't know, laugh a little, raise your voice up and down, do something. I'm not trying to be judgmental, guys. I'm really not. I just, he is really hard to listen to. Oh.
She was going to, and then the plan changed. Oh, I'm going to take the car to my mother's. Like, I'm going with my mother. Well, she didn't even come back for the car. Like, the search and rescue had her car towed to wherever she was because they left the car. That's how much of a hurry that was to leave. Malehya stayed at they stayed at the residence Friday night.
Okay. So she left her car. That's how much in a hurry they were to leave. So, but what about the ambulance? She was in the ambulance. Was she having a panic attack? Was there something said that she just needed to get out of there? Was she in that briefing? Was she told her children were probably no longer alive? Did she start to have a complete meltdown? I mean, some things are being left out, guys. Do you see what I'm saying? We're not hearing the entire story. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad she's talking. That's awesome. You know, it's helping us to fill in a few things, but we're just not hearing the full story, right?
And just out of curiosity, because I think you said something and I wasn't quite sure I understood. When did Malehya's mother arrive at the house?
So she arrived Friday. She was there before I got there on Friday when they went missing. I'm not sure the exact time. We all tried to figure that out. I'm not sure.
I think
okay.
Yeah.
And did Malehya's mother stay overnight there?
I am unsure, but she was there in the morning when I got back, when I came back. So she could have stayed the night. I am, like I said, I am unsure because I didn't stay at the residence that night. I went home. And Daniel did pass the lie detector test.
So what was Daniel's relationship like with Malehya's mom?
From what I understand, Malehya's relationship with her mother was never great. She didn't want to live with her mother.
Now, we know that Malehya's relationship was never great because Malehya has made it clear on her Facebook in the past that her mom was mean to the horses and all that, and she said some things about her mom in the past. So there's that.
So sounds like her mother is a little bit difficult to get along with. Controlling, I don't know, mean to horses. One of the things that I saw in Malehya's videos was that Malehya got bucked from a horse, and so she had back problems after that. Which, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think they're talking about Saturday now, it seems like to me. That hearing this again, now it seems like she said when she got to Daniel's on Friday, Malehya's mom was there. She didn't know if Malehya's mom stayed overnight, but she was there when she got back there. So I'm assuming she's talking into Saturday. Yeah, it was nice of search and rescue to tow her car. Yeah. It's kind of her leaving. I don't know because we hear something different from the cousin, but what I was going to say, her leaving seemed like it was understandable by RCMP, but the cousin, I think, also says that the RCMP were blown away by her leaving because she said that she trusted Daniel and she felt safe there. So I don't know. From watching Malehya's videos, I kind of get the feeling that she's maybe a little bit naive. I don't know. Just a sense that I'm getting from her. But let's continue on.
So Daniel's poison is, from what I understand, poison. Like he always said, and he said this in his interviews over and over again, is every time Malehya got ahead in life, her mother pulled her back. So we'll just go with that.
That's sad.
I just find it strange how the grandmother would convince her daughter to leave
the residence
instead of staying with her to look for these babies.
That woman has never shed a tear the whole time she was there. My dad even stated that. He goes, I cried. Like my father cried and cried and cried. This is a 55-year-old man. And he cried for those children. And that grandmother didn't shed a tear.
Now, I know you can't speak on Daniel's behalf, but what does he really truly believe happened to these kids?
That's something that he has stated all along, that it's something that has to come from him. Honestly, he believes they were, I think he believes that they were picked up by now, like that they were abducted, because
This last little bit of what she's saying is a lot of word salad, in my opinion. Is she looking for 2 minutes of fame? I mean, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'd like to know too, but we may never know. Do we not know that they weren't there? They showed a bunch of people behind Daniel that were there, so I don't know. Right? We don't know for sure. I felt like in that part where when she was asked about Daniel, she's just giving a lot of word salad, like doing a lot of double talk. Because she kind of reverses here, picked up by now like they were abducted, and then listen to what she says next.
there's no sign of them in the woods. He doesn't believe they're in the woods.
So he really doesn't believe that mom had anything to do with it.
Troopers, honey.
That's something I don't know, because you always have your line of doubt, right? Like you always have your theories and your things. So I can't speak on his behalf on that. Like,
yeah, I understand. I just know that they both used each other as an alibi and in the morning in regards to the situation.
Absolutely. And no, I don't believe he believed or believes that Malehya had anything to do with the children missing.
So what is it? She believes that Daniel thinks Malehya had something, or no, she doesn't? Because she just said two different things there. Yeah, a statement was way too jumbled to be believable. Exactly. Which is making me feel like she's just talking to talk. She wants her 2 minutes of fame. Yeah. You know, what is her point of coming on here is my question now, right? Why is she doing this? Ranch dressing on my salad, please. Alibi for each other. Scrabble. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better, Factory Girl.
Right.
A question that I have is, did Malehya have, or do you know, if Malehya had her own cell phone?
Yes, she has her own cell phone. I've called her on it.
Okay. And Daniel has his own cell phone.
Absolutely, but they're a very open couple.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I was just curious.
I see that. Did you think Malehya met somebody else type deal?
Oh, no, that's not where I was going with this. No. No, I was actually thinking back to when Daniel had said that he had gone out looking for the children and that the police, he had offered up his phone to the police to check the GPS and, you know, all that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Rainbow. How open? Like, I was just curious, like, how they met. Like, was she with someone? Was he with someone when they met? Was there a cheating thing going on? I don't know. I'm asking. I have no idea.
Absolutely, yeah. No, they do have separate cell phones.
Okay, all right.
And the cops even gave Daniel a cell phone while they took Daniel's cell phone. So, like, yeah,
Right.
no.
Okay.
I don't know, like I said, like whatever she has offered up or whatever she has done, if she had a lie detector test or whatever she has done, I can't speak on her behalf anymore because I haven't seen her since literally that Saturday, but I haven't spoken to her since that Sunday.
So did it come as a shock to Daniel that she actually up and left him?
Yes, 100%. Like because one moment there was an altercation at the end of the driveway, which was me and one of Malehya's family members screaming at each other. And the cops were called down. So when the cops came down, they took Malehya aside. They took my mother aside because my mother said she started the altercation, which she was. I was as well. And my aunt. We all got spoken to by the police. Malehya literally told the police officer right then and there, like, this is the happiest I've ever been. I feel the safest when I'm with here. Like, even when she left, Officer Mason was dead shocked, as was Daniel, that she actually left. Because
This is very questionable to me. So my question is, what was the altercation about? Why did it involve you, your mother, and your aunt? Why all of a sudden are you bringing up the fact, did Malehya say that at that point in time about, this is the safest I've ever felt here, blah, blah, blah? Why? If she did say that at that point, why? What was going on in this altercation? I do not understand why these girls didn't ask that question. That was huge. That was a huge question to ask. You know? I love Italian dressing too. So why did she bring that up? Yeah. Speak on her behalf anymore? Yeah. Yeah. How could she, yeah. She's trying to make herself look important. My question is, what was the confrontation about? What was this altercation about? Why would, and who was it between? She didn't. She just said on her side who was involved. Yeah, I want the tea in the argument. Yeah, exactly. You know, she said who on her side of the family was involved, but she didn't say who on. And from all we're hearing is that the only one that seemed to be there on Malehya's side was her mother. So, is that what was going on? Who else was there on Malehya's side of the family? I I really am questioning this girl. I'm just saying, guys, she may be telling the truth, but she's leaving some things out, is all I'm saying. My opinion. Not trying to throw anyone under the bus. I just think there's some things that are being left out here.
Told the officer that it was the safest she's ever been.
So why did she leave? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Why would she say that and then leave, guys? Why would she say that and then leave? That makes no sense. I seriously doubt if Malehya ever said that. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Why do you leave where your kids was last seen? I don't get it.
So when
after her mother got there.
That was before her mother got to her.
And I just want to clarify when you're saying
These families are against each other. These families are against each other. The baby had to leave, but we don't know that though, do we?
that she was saying that this is the safest she's ever felt, meaning in your company and your family's company.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So to know that he got home to go contact her, that he was blocked and deleted, was a complete and utter shock.
How old is Malehya?
Malehya is 27, I believe.
And Daniel's 30.
32, I believe.
32, okay.
Okay. I just want to mention something. There's 211 people in the room. Could we get people to tap, please, and just boost the channel? It really, really, really helps the channel a lot. So if you're sitting here watching and you're enjoying the content, please.
Well, I don't know if it was Daniel's mom that told her to leave or if it was Malehya's mom getting into her head.
Okay, so yeah, she really doesn't like the children's grandma at all. She really doesn't like her grandma at all. What was I going to say? So we do know that Daniel said his mother told them to leave. He said that. And that was before her mother got to her. Here's my question. If Daniel's mother said that she had to leave, then even if Malehya did not want to go to be with her mother, she would have had no choice if Daniel's mom was kicking her off the property. Right? Who else was she going to go to? That's my opinion. I mean, where else was she going to go? Cousin is trying to make it seem like mom got to Malehya. Well, I don't know, because Daniel's mom is the one that said she had to leave, according to Daniel. So sounds like cousin and Daniel need to get on the same page. See what I'm saying, guys? We don't know the whole story, right? See how just listening to this makes us realize how much we don't know, how much is being left out of the story. Because remember, we cannot hear Malehya's side. We're not hearing her side. Yeah, that was before the altercation, Kate. She offered Malehya and the baby to go to her house to look, but that was before the altercation took place. I honestly, do you honestly think that the cousin would still hold that invitation open after her relative kicked Malehya off the property? I don't know, right? I mean, it's a possibility, but I doubt it. There's a lot that's not being said here. A lot that these people are not asking this cousin, in my opinion.
Kara, beautiful. How are you, darling? Something else happened there to make her leave. Something had to have happened.
Support the channel.
We're not being told anything.
Yes, tap away.
Oh, and I described Daniel and Malehya's relationship great, to be totally honest. Like, for every time I've been around and been there, they've completely got along. So I don't know. Every relationship has issues, but I've never. I described their relationship as great. Like, they became very close. They had a child together. He raises their kids. She helped raise his other kid. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't see any issues.
And has Daniel had the opportunity since this has happened to visit Meadow?
No.
So who's preventing them from, is it Malehya that's preventing them from doing that?
From what I understand, it's Children's Aid.
Hold on. What?
Sorry, from what you understand, it's who?
Children's Aid.
Why would Children's Aid withhold access to his child?
I'm not sure.
Well, Daniel did try, and he did talk about this. He did go down to CPS or Children's Aid, and he did try to see Meadow or his kids. I don't know if it was just Meadow, but his kids. And he did say they declined. I'll rewind it a little bit, yeah.
So yes, that's true. Daniel did go down. He tried to see Meadow. I don't know if it's the kids or not, but he did try to see Meadow. And they said no. So yes, she's not talking about Jack and Lily at all. Right, Ginger? I would not be sending my baby with someone who's screaming and yelling at my mother. Yeah. Children's Aid in Canada is called, or CPS is called Children's Aid in Canada. Makes sense. Either way, I knew what she meant when she said that. Here's my question. Why? Why all of a sudden, I mean, Children's Aid, CPS, whatever you want to call them, guys, wherever you live, it doesn't matter. They're not going to just refuse visitation to your own children unless there's a reason for it. So what's the reason? They're not going to tell us. And if she does know, it's a good thing she didn't say. No worries, Kate. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that we do not know. Maybe we need to make a list of things we do not know in this case. Maybe I should have called this this video "Things We Do Not Know" in the case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, right? Because there's so much here. Yeah. I mean, what did they see inside the house, right? You know that they did look inside because they had to search for the kids. So what did they see? The cousin tried to play it off like, well, this isn't a situation that a baby needs to be around, right? Exactly. The cousin saying it was to remove the child from what was happening during the search, yet Daniel is denied access. Makes zero logical sense to me. It's almost like RCMP, and guys, just go with me here because I don't know this, right? But it's almost like RCMP told her to take the child and leave. That's my opinion. Daniel said different. Cousin tried to make it look even more different, right? I am calling bull on what she's saying about the baby. Yeah, I am honestly beginning to believe that RCMP told her to take the child and leave. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm starting to think. I think that Daniel and cousin are not being completely honest here. But let's continue on.
Yes, tap away.
Oh, and I described Daniel and Malehya's relationship great, to be totally honest. Like, for every time I've been around and been there, they've completely got along. So I don't know. Every relationship has
This is interesting.
issues, but I've never. I described their relationship as great. Like, they became very close. They had a child together. He raises their kids. She helped raise his other kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I didn't see any issues.
And has Daniel had the opportunity since this has happened to visit Meadow?
No.
Yep, but he did go down.
So who's preventing him from, is it Malehya that's preventing him from doing that?
From what I understand, it's Children's Aid.
Sorry, from what you understand, it's who?
Children's Aid.
Why would Children's Aid withhold access to his child?
I'm not sure. And this is the type of situation that I've never been in.
Like he even, I mean.
And he has proved himself over and over again. So an CPS issue with this is kind of not.
What does that mean? She just said, because he has proved himself over and over again. What did he have to prove himself about? That's a loaded statement, guys. Exactly. There really is. If she was sent to the ambulance, the RCMP would have sent someone to speak with her. Keep in mind the Salvation Army was also there, and they also work with the CPS. Guys, even if Malehya didn't want Daniel to see Meadow, that wouldn't matter. that would not matter because it's your child. You have a right to see them. Unless CPS says, nope, you can't see your kid. Nope. So there, something happened. What did he need to prove himself about? Why did she say that? That's a loaded statement. I mean, I don't know, Neuro. I think it would be more than that for CPS, don't you? To me. Hello, AMC. Good to see you. Welcome back. Has he had to prove himself to the CPS for his other children? That's exactly what I'm saying. What did he have to prove himself over and over again about? That's my question. She said it. We didn't, right? She said it. We didn't say that. I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, we showed them earlier, AMC. So, yeah, very loaded statement that she made there. Very loaded. I'm just going to kind of go back 5 seconds so we can rehear that.
So an CPS issue with this is kind of not my.
Now, remember, she is allegedly a family member of Daniel, so she's going to be taking up for Daniel.
My spot to say. So what goes on there? But no, from what I understand, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about it, is I believe it is CPS that is doing this right now.
Okay. So she's saying CPS is doing it. I believe her in that point, right? So, you know, I really think that obviously, guys, they are the only ones who can interfere in a situation like that where custody, you know, telling a father that he cannot see his child. CPS is, you know, only going to be the one that can do that on such a short notice kind of thing, because, you know, makes you wonder, what did he need to prove himself for? Was it for his other children? I don't know. Continue on.
So is it
Like, I'm
Malehya or
surprised
is it
that they-
Maleha's mom that has access to the little one right now?
The baby, Meadow is in custody of her mother.
Yeah,
like
okay.
Malehya has custody of Meadow at the moment.
I don't understand why they wouldn't allow Daniel access.
I don't understand why, if this is a case.
Malehya has the baby.
Unless she made allegations of domestic abuse. But even
And let me just say something, guys. We have no idea what goes on behind closed doors.
Justin brings up a good point. And by the way, all credit to Justin, clutch some pearls. He brings up a really good point. We do not know what goes on behind the scenes. We do not know why CPS is saying he can't see Meadow right now. So, you know, he brings up a really good point about that. We don't know what went on. And we don't know why he's not being allowed access to Meadow. Now, I haven't heard anything specifically about his other 2 children from his ex-wife. I don't know what's going on there. I've heard rumors, but I'm not going to address rumors. So let's continue on.
Right. You never know who is abusing who. Either way, whether Daniel doing that to Malehya or Malehya doing that to Daniel, we have no idea. So there's that. Thank you.
Agreed.
To go to family court, and he should be allowed at minimal right now supervised access with his children.
Absolutely, and we've been going through all that. But as of right now, we're working on that. So that's something I don't really want to discuss, is like his doings with the children at the moment.
Right. And that's fair enough.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like he's fighting it. Kind of convenient that she talked just enough about it and then said, nope, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Fair enough, though. I mean, like I said, maybe I should have titled this video "Things That We Don't Know" in the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case.
And I don't believe she's met anybody else. Like I said she felt the safest in everything there. So everybody's saying that maybe she met somebody new. I don't believe that.
I don't understand. If you she's not telling something, if that's the truth. Because if you feel the safest there and your kids live there and they went missing from there, why are you zipped up, not talking, haven't spoke for 1 month? 1 month. We're not getting all of the story.
Well, he's right. We're not getting all the story, but I'm not going to judge her for being zipped up and not talking. I have a feeling that she was told not to. That's my opinion. We can, but I mean, we don't want to share all those, do we, Ginger? So here's my question. In that altercation, why did Malehya end up at the ambulance? Something happened there? Is that why they were able to deny him access to Meadow pretty quickly on? I'm just saying, guys. And if that's the case, we have got to understand that it would be understandable for Malehya not to say a doggone thing. Just sit back and, I mean, so we can look at both sides, right? There would have to be some sort of proof. Exactly. Which is why I'm saying, did something happen that she ended up at the ambulance after the altercation? And our CMP saw it. I'm just saying, guys. So that's what it would take. Is there other evidence not disclosed? Was CPS called before to that home? I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know. I'm not going to be real quick to judge her for being quiet. If it comes out later, I don't know, if something else comes out later to prove differently, to change my mind, then I'll I can judge her for that month of being quiet, but right now we don't know what happened. There's just too much that we don't know. I'm just getting this sinking feeling that she's being protected for something. So
let's be real. We're not getting all of this story. They are hiding something, in my opinion. Something is being hidden.
absolutely.
Something went down. Someone did something, and they are not saying what it is.
Exactly.
Nope. No man, no ham, and no turkey. It doesn't work like that. I feel the same.
All right. I love that. No ma'am, no ham, and no turkey. Way to go, Justin. I agree with them. Something went down that they're not telling us, guys. And that's the whole reason why CPS is not letting Daniel see the kids. And cousin is being awfully quiet about it. She's not going to say nothing because it would be against Daniel. So conveniently, she's not going to say anything against Daniel. He's her cousin.
Safest here. This is the safest I've felt in a long time.
I don't believe she said that.
Walked out of the door and they're missing. So why the hell are you not there? There is something they're not telling us.
Her and Daniel were great, so I can't.
So just your gut instinct. What do you think? If you're not comfortable, that's fine. I mean, what is your gut instinct? What's going on with Malehya? Why is she doing all of this?
I believe her mother's kind of manipulative. From what I've seen of her.
Why would the mom want to do this?
I don't know. But what I've met of the mother, I've been
All right, I just got to say this. I had a manipulative and controlling mother, but at the age of 27, she did not control me anymore. I'm just saying. Actually, a lot earlier than that. But when I was 27, there's no way she was controlling me anymore. Now, did I still love my mother? Did I still visit my mom? Whatever. Yes. But I knew her manipulation tactics, and I didn't allow her to do that with me. I agree. It was CPS who gave the mother custody of the baby. They didn't give custody to grandma. Right? Kent, we do not know anything about any rugs, so we're not going to go there. That's, there is nothing brought up about that. There's nothing, so we're not going to go there.
Daniel and her have been together 3 years. This is the first time I have ever met the mother. And like I said, and when you get vibes from people, she just, even when I was putting my phone number in Malehya's phone for her,
yeah. I agree with that, Rainbow. That's the way it kind of sounds like to me as well. I think she is manipulating the scenario here. Not the girl talking. I mean, Malehya. Because she's saying one thing and doing another.
Here's the thing, though. We don't know if Malehya said that. Well, it was a new phone. She explains that. The police already took her phone. They gave her a new phone to use while they were going through hers. So she was putting the number in the new phone. Doggone spell check, right? Yep. I'm trying to find where I was, guys.
Reason. And it can be like a grift, you know, between the two of you. So I don't know. But I will say dysfunction, yes, Remy. I will say that Malehya has said her mom is not a good person. Now, she could have been mad at the time. I don't know.
So we'll just go with that.
I just find it strange how the grandmother would convince her daughter to leave
the residence
instead of staying with her.
And that's right. Why is Malehya's mom, allegedly saying, you need to get out of there, you know, and come with me? Why is she saying that? Because like I've always said, Malehya said she was laying in bed that morning, drifting in and out of sleep. Daniel's doing the same thing. Jack is supposedly in the kitchen. Lilly is supposedly darting her head in and out of the bedroom or going inside of the bedroom. It depends on what story you're following of theirs. And the family is fighting. And like I said, if they're both saying primarily the same story, right? They're both saying, the main thing is they're both saying when the kids go missing, they're in bed together. And if Malehya's mom is blaming Daniel and the family, then either Malehya has said something to her mother that we don't know about, or Malehya's mother doesn't believe Malehya or Daniel.
Or it was because of what was said during the altercation, what was said or and done in the altercation, right? Like I said, a mother can be controlling, but at 27 years old, I find it hard to believe that a daughter would not stand up to her mother at 27 years old if she didn't agree with her. Right? I mean, maybe she felt like she had nowhere else to go. I don't know. The cousin also says that she tried to call Malehya, and Malehya's mother could be heard in the background. Who are you talking to? I mean, that sounds like something my mom would have done back in the day. or did more when I was a teenager, but you know, um, yeah. She obviously contacted her mother right away when the children went missing. So I think there's too much being placed upon Malehya's mother here. Right? Malehya is an adult. She can make her own decisions. She was told to leave, or she didn't have to leave, but the baby had to. So she's going to go where her baby goes, right? I don't know. Just again, there's so many things that we do not know. I think Malehya's mom is being a scapegoat here by the cousin. Back in the day, they just picked up the other phone in the house and listened to find out who you were talking to. So true. Yeah. So, yeah. My grandma had a party line. Oh, that was horrific. You pick up and you could hear people you didn't even know talking, and you had to hang up. I mean, it wasn't like you could say hardly anything because you didn't know who was listening. Those were the days. Yes, they were. Party lines. Kent, I don't believe her mother threatened her. I really don't. I think the mother is being made a scapegoat for a lot of the stuff in this case right now.
Right? That's the only thing it could be, in my opinion. I would be protecting my child and my grandchild as well, probably getting them out of this situation. But what about your other two grandchildren, loved ones, that are missing? You know what I mean? I get it that. Now, listen, I might be a little critical.
All right, so the other two are missing, yes. But our CFP already do not think they're alive. So Malehya leaving home in this case, right? Different case than Sebastian. In this case, RCMP said very early on they didn't believe the children could have survived in the woods. Okay. So as long as Malehya stays in touch with RCMP to know what's going on with her children, she's going to know exactly what's going on in the case. Whether she's 40 miles away or whether she's at the trailer without her baby. Why would why would she leave her 18-month-old baby with someone else? I mean, to me, that's my last child alive. I'm going to stay with it. Wherever I have to be, I'm going to stay with it. And I'm going to stay in touch with the RCMP daily to find out what's going on with my other 2 children. That'd be me.
Critical of my son-in-law if he had my daughter in a place like that. That's just me, right? But I also can I can imagine Malehya's mom saying something like that, right? Like, Daniel, you need to work more, or you need to provide more for Malehya and the kids. I get that. But she's also allegedly saying this is the happiest she's been in a long time. But then also, get this, but then also Daniel's alleging that Malehya has passed postpartum depression. She's past postpartum depression. So if you are, this is a question I've got for you guys. If you are past postpartum, like meaning past, meaning it's worse than postpartum depression, are you really the happiest and the safest you've been in a long time? Something is off.
Something is off because I don't believe she said that. I don't believe she said it. I just don't. And I understand Justin Discretion said here, I understand why. He's thinking that her saying that is truth, and I just don't honestly believe that that's what was said.
They are not telling us stuff. They're not telling they're not telling us the whole story. They're not telling the whole story. That tells me Malehya is not very strong and that her mom influences her a lot. You get what I'm saying? You get it, Rainbow. I never had it. I don't understand it. I don't know. But Daniel is talking out of both sides of his mouth here. And so is Malehya. Because you can't feel the happiest. And
you have to remember, though, that we don't know that Malehya said that. You're listening to a woman who obviously is biased toward her cousin. She's the one that said Malehya said that. We don't know that Malehya said that, right? So we don't know that Malehya is talking out of both sides of her mouth. She could be, and she might not be, right? She might never have said that. We have to remember that just because someone said she said something doesn't make it true. Right? It doesn't make it true.
The safest that you've been. And Daniel is saying that it's worse than postpartum depression.
You can have extreme postpartum depression, right? Like Lindsay Clancy had. It's still postpartum depression. It doesn't really go past the postpartum depression. It is a very violent type of postpartum depression, right? It's not past it. Hearsay in a court of law. Exactly. That wouldn't hold up. Cousin saying Malehya said this. Nope. We don't know that she said it. And how could you feel safe there if your two children just disappeared? Yeah. Obviously, she didn't feel safe. She left. Right. So, yeah, she didn't feel safe there. She left. I find that funny.
And again, like, I understand Malehya's mother saying, like, if, you know, my children's mate, you know, kind of had him in a situation like Malehya and them are in. For me, everyone lives differently, but for me, I would want my kid in a better situation. So I get that part of Malehya's mother. A controlling guy is going to say she's depressed, she's not well mentally, she doesn't watch her kids, etc.
That's a good point. Controlling men like to do that, don't they? Yeah. I can think of I don't know if you guys know about Micah Miller, John Paul Miller. John Paul Miller liked to say that his wife was mentally insane. Yeah. Gave her his own schizophrenia pills because he felt that she was mentally insane. His own, mind you, that were prescribed to him. But he was controlling and felt that she was mentally insane.
They're saying she's, you know, saying that when it comes to Meadow, that like everything's like she's all about Meadow allegedly, but not about Lilly and Jack.
To look for these babies.
That woman has never shed a tear the whole time she was there. My dad even stated that. He goes, I cried. Like my father cried and cried and cried. This is a 55-year-old man. And he cried for those children. And that grandmother didn't shed a tear.
Now, I know you can't speak on Daniel's behalf, but what does he really truly believe happened to these kids?
Okay, so this is the second time that they're going through it, but so yeah, since there is no access in place for Daniel, one could assume that a protective order is also in place, and this may mean no contact for Malehya with Daniel. I agree 100%. And that may be why she wasn't at the vigil. And, you know, so I get it, guys. I really do. I think that just listening to, and again, all credit to Justin and Clutch and Pearls, appreciate that. But I do want to just say that the cousin, even though she filled in some blanks, still left us, I don't know, with maybe more questions than we had before. There's still so much more that we don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a protective order in place along with the CPS. I have a feeling that there was a reason why she was in the ambulance. We honestly, we all talked about the fact that we weren't given specifics on the altercation. What exactly took place, who was involved. She only named a couple of people, but were Malehya and Daniel involved? What was going on in this altercation? We don't know. There's so many things there that we do not know what happened. So, like I said, there's red flags on both sides of the table there. I am on the fence. I honestly am on the fence about what happened here, guys. I think both parents have guilty knowledge, but I don't know what happened. I have no idea. But we're not getting the entire full story. I only got a few tablespoons of tea for my cup from the cousin. Exactly. All you got was a bitter taste. Right? I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad. I know that Justin started out saying he believed her because she wasn't stopping. She was just, going on and on. But in my opinion, by the end, I did not believe her. Or I believe that she left. She was very biased and left a lot of things out. You bring up a really good point, K9. The fact that she never talked about the kids. She didn't. She didn't talk about the kids, did she? It's a good point. That's a really good point. And that's sad. Was she at the vigil? We don't know because it really didn't. I looked for all the different videos of the vigil. There was one that was all over the place. So if you have trouble with vertigo, you would have gotten sick, which I do. So I wasn't going to show it. It was bad. And so, yeah, I mean, as far as actual audio from the video, there's only bits and pieces of it. Nothing really too important. I agree with you, Kate. I thought it was odd. She said they were each other's alibis. I don't know, the way she worded it was weird. I agree. Who uses that word alibis except police? Yeah. I was a bit upset when she referred to her own child as a creature. Yeah, and his name was Jack too. That was scary for a minute. Everybody just shut up and listened as she was talking to her son Jack in the background, because it was like, who are you talking to? You just said Jack. I mean, everybody was just quiet for a minute there. It was like, is she talking to Jack Sullivan? It was weird for a minute. Hello, always on empty. If Ellie sees paraphernalia on the table in my estate, they will take kids away. What's a thought? That would be enough, in my opinion. But, you know, there was just some statements that she said. The big one, I think, was he has proven himself over and over. What is he trying to prove over and over? And to who? I did too. For a minute there, I was like, oh my gosh, does she have the kids? um, yeah, I got to go put this little creature to bed. Yeah. I don't know. Some people have weird ways of saying things, I guess. I didn't hear the paraphernalia stuff in the dispatch either. Yeah, I don't know. In New York, they won't do anything unless they physically see the parent doing it near the child. So sad they don't care at all. Yeah. I was going to say, I think in states we're pretty lax, a little bit too lax, if you ask me. But, yeah, there's so much that we don't know, guys, right? Like I said, maybe we need to make a list. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. Make a list of all the things that we don't know in this case that stand out to us, like questions that we want answered, right? Start thinking. We're going to go over them tomorrow. Let's brainstorm together. Things that we don't know, especially after that conversation, right? You know, now you have to go back and find the full dispatch, just like that dispatch about the coroner freaked me out. Yeah. Yeah, that one was freaky. That one was really freaky. Was what is actual fact? Well, we don't have a whole lot of actual facts. That would be a long life. Oh, I know. Well, maybe it'll have to be a two-parter or something. If we do facts and what we don't know, right? Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'd have to go back and listen to this conversation again to refresh my memory of all the things that we don't know. Because this really, I think this little video, this little TikTok video that happened, I think that this really shined a light on things that we don't know, right? I could not, three maybe. I could not believe how it stood out to me. It was crazy. You know, did it help us with anything? Did it help us in finding Lily or Jack? I don't know, right? There was one other quick thing that I did want to show you before we go, guys. You all know that I have said before that the Bay of Fundy is a possibility that those kids were taken to. I don't like to think of it, but I did find this video today. I found it very interesting because it's like a, what do I want to say? A time lapse. Okay. So it's a time lapse. And how it fills up and goes back down. Look at how deep that is. It's like 40, it goes up to 55 feet, they're saying. Within like 6 hours, guys. Like 6 hours apart. High tide, low tide. So that, to me, that was amazing. I had to, I thought I'd just share that with you real quick of how quickly and everything is washed away. Anything that's there is washed away unless it's tied down. I agree, K9. There aren't that many facts in this case, right? There just isn't. Yeah, it's one of the world wonders. If you look it up, guys, and that's, I found that video today, but I found other pictures that were beautiful. All across the Bay of Fundy is big. It's huge. And there's different sites that you can see, and you can actually walk on the ocean floor when the tide is low. Go into some caves when the tide's low. And then when the tide is high, the caves are completely underwater, right? So very interesting, very, very interesting. But it does just go to the fact that if somebody, it's only an hour and a half away from where the kids live, if somebody really wanted to make sure there was no evidence left, that would be the way to go. And I hope that's not the case, because I would like to see these children brought home. And I know other people have opinions that, they feel the kids are close to home, buried somewhere or something. Any of it could be right. But I'm just saying that bay is weird. It's a world wonder, and I can't even imagine. No, I've never seen anything like. I never heard of it before. No. Until I started doing a little bit of research on it. Because when I looked at Google Maps, because I heard somebody say something about water and being washed out to the ocean or something like that. And I thought, well, is that true? And so I started looking at Google Maps to see how close they were. Sure enough, right? When high tide can go up to 55 feet, that's a lot of water washing into the ocean. Washing something right out to the ocean. It's interesting. But, and with our grannyism today, there isn't enough room in your mind for both worry and faith. You must decide which one will live there. And that's so true. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I worry and worry and worry. And we need to remember that if we're going to have faith that these kids are going to be brought home, we can't be worrying, right? Same thing with Sebastian, Summer, Dylan. And guys, I just want to say a quick word. Those of you who are prayer warriors, please, please keep Jason Ayler in your prayers. He is the poor guy's burnt out. He's lashing out. I don't blame him. He's not getting the response from law enforcement about looking in that area where he believes Dylan's pants were found. So, you know, he's very extremely frustrated, and it's 5 years in. My heart just breaks for him. I can't even imagine what that would be like. He's upset with mother's family. They're not coming out to help search. Even his own family, you know. So that's really true, K9. Fear and faith can't occupy the same space. Yep. Same thing. Same thing. You have to make your choice, don't you? So yeah, keep Jason in your prayers. What would it take for a few police officers to go out there and search where they found those pants? Right? I mean, come on. Exactly. Worry is like paying on a debt you may not owe. Exactly. So true. So true. So I will leave you guys with that. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, all right, guys. That's all I really had for tonight. Hope you have a wonderful evening. And don't forget, Mike DeMann is talking about the cousins, the cousin statement. So if you want to see what he has to say about him and you can listen to him for longer than 10 seconds, go on over and head over to Mike DeMann and see what he has to say about what the cousin said. All right. Thanks, guys. You have a great evening. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.